Hey guys, I'm Dr. Alli Cain here with my husband, Dr. Jordan Winberg, and our green juices. We are excited to bring you the first of a four-part series we've entitled Wednesdays with the Winbergs, in hopes to give you some insight into how we live our lives, how we try to incorporate good nutrition, moving our bodies, and just all-around sound health into our everydays. We have four really basic nutrition rules that we live by. I want to share them with you because we really think that if everyone incorporated these into their day-to-day, that you'd be 90% of the way there with your nutrition. Rule number one, tell them what it is.
So this is a big thing and something that I've done for a long time before I really even thought that much about nutrition, was cutting out sugary drinks. And at first you're like, oh yeah, like I don't drink pop very often. But like looking at even your simple juices and things like that, I know when I was growing up, I used to drink a lot of just like concentrate juice that you mix the water, and in hindsight, zero nutritional value, but you get kind of tricked because like, oh, it's juice, so
it's healthy.
It says berry on it.
What kind of berry?
Yeah. So definitely something to consider if you're still drinking juices that you buy from the store, especially. Look at the label and look at that sugar and just realize that it's pop.
Yeah, it really is. It's marketed. So I think that learning how to read the nutritional labels on things that you drink, like your pumpkin spice latte and things like that, really, if we look at what we drink in a day, black coffee, tea, water, and then a green juice or a protein shake that we make ourselves, key. Totally. So the second thing to kind of go on top of that is eat more vegetables. I mean, I feel so simplistic in saying that and kind of silly, but really we looked at our nutrition, which I would have called healthy a year ago, and we realized like we're actually not eating that many vegetables. And even when I'm trying to fill my macros with carbohydrates being filled with vegetables, I wasn't. I was filling it with other types of crap. So we made a concerted effort a year ago. We were like, we are eating more vegetables. For you, that turned into getting blend twice a day with your veggie shakes, which I'm impressed with what you do. I mean, you should hear what you put into it.
So like it started just like basics. So obviously you can make like a fruit smoothie, but then it's like, oh, I'll put spinach or kale in it. And then I'd realize that like I'd buy this thing of kale or spinach and it would just go all soggy and gross. And so I was like, oh, well, I can buy it frozen. I'm just blending it up anyways. It's not like I need it to be fresh for a salad. And then having frozen leafy greens led to just what happens if I put frozen vegetable medley in.
And Brussels sprouts.
So it kind of evolved on its own from there. Definitely at the start it was a lot more fruit-based or relying a lot more on flavored protein powders and such to get by. And then I've found that now, after doing this for like 9 months, 10 months, that I can actually tolerate drinking a much more bland shake than I used to.
You're way ahead. You're way further in this than me. And I give you kudos because you are getting a good dose of vegetables every day. Whereas I'm still just adding like spinach and kale and things that mix up a little bit better and relying on eating my vegetables. But for me, that helps me. You have to work to get the calories that you need in a day. Whereas me eating the actual abundance of vegetables that's necessary helps to keep me fuller for longer.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the things we were talking about the other day is when people are nutritionists and health professionals and PhDs are arguing about what type of nutrition is best. Is it high carb, low carb, paleo, zone, macros? Every single one of them would agree we need to eat more vegetables. So let's work and eat more vegetables. So what do we have there? We don't drink sugary drinks. We eat our vegetables. The third thing, and again, kind of came along the same time as when we decided to up the veggies, was to be better about where our produce and where our meats were coming from. So we made an investment in the spring in what was called NutriFarms, which is we got 18 months of frozen vegetables, those didn't last long, and meats, really good quality cuts of meats from a farm in Barrie, which were ethically raised, GMO free, antibiotic free. I was really impressed with just I guess it was the first time we'd actually really dove into where does our food come from.
Yeah, just getting like quality meat. You notice there's a big difference between what we got from
Yeah.
what we'd been buying at the store.
When you cooked up the chicken, it didn't change
It didn't
size.
Shrink. It didn't shrink.
Yeah.
Or you make ground beef and you don't have to dump like a cup of grease off of it because it's already super lean.
And on that note, I think in coordination with knowing where our produce and our meat came from was decreasing the amount of meat that we were eating. I mean, we were kind of in the fitness industry especially, but I think everybody has this thought that if you don't get your protein after a workout, did you even work out? Mm-hmm. And you don't really hear of many people in Canada suffering from a protein deficiency, especially if you're eating, the required amount of calories in a day. So decreasing our overall meat consumption, increasing our vegetables, but still getting a good amount of protein in a day.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely started putting, you have to evaluate your goals as well, but definitely I put a decreased emphasis on how much protein I was getting. I wasn't necessarily trying to get that like 210 grams of protein
1 gram per pound type thing.
Yeah, like just kind of having a conversation with yourself and being like, well, what am I really trying to accomplish? What do I need to sustain? And also, like, using yourself as a bit of an experiment to be like, well, what happens to my body if instead of eating 210 grams of protein from meat, if I only eat 160? Am I going to, like, shrink and fade away? Or is it actually
just
pretty fine? As long as my calories are up, I'm hitting my carb numbers, and I'm getting a lot of nutrients and staying hydrated and all these other things.
Yeah, for sure. The last thing, again, sometimes I feel so simple when we say it, but it's the most simple advice that I think we often overlook, or the basics that we forget about when we get into all of these, nutrition sophisticated protocols. It's just move your body. I love the gym, I love Anchor, I love going and doing a workout or a yoga class, but at the very foundation of it, it's how often in a day are you actually moving? And that's walking to and from work, getting up, like how often are you on your feet? And I would contend that a big portion of people are not getting even an eighth of the movement that they need in a day. Mm-hmm. And clinically, what do you see?
Yeah, it's just so easy for people, for anyone, for me, to get sucked into that lifestyle of never moving. And it doesn't need to be heavy weights or any one specific thing or like a high intensity sport. It just needs to be movement. So I had someone ask me not too long ago, just like, hey, like, what are the most common things you'd say that you see and like as a treat? I think they were expecting me to say like, oh, like
shoulder,
blown out ACLs or something. It's like, no, like the most common person that comes through my practice so far, at least anyways, is somebody that has issues that are somewhat ongoing and chronic that are simply a result of posture, or poor posture, and just lack of movement, and so things start to break down because they're always in the same position.
Yeah, and one of my big goals at Anchor, and you know this, I've wanted to do this for years, and I feel so grateful to finally be able to have an avenue to do it, is screen people before they go into CrossFit. Because I know how amazing the effects of regularly showing up for exercise are for the vast majority of people. But prior to starting CrossFit, how many people are actually putting their arms over their head in a day, or using their range of motion of their hips or their shoulders, or really any joint in their body, and have the ability to screen out any potential injuries and then have people modify accordingly and work up to the demand on the joints has been, I think, pivotal in preventing injuries from happening. And I use that example all the time. Like, really, if you think about it, how often, if you're not working out, are you actually putting your arms up over your head? You're not, because you're texting, you're sitting, you're driving, you're making food, you're eating food. That's it. So there you have it. Those are our 4 foundational rules that that guide our lifestyle,
our daily existence.
Skip the sugar-filled drinks. Eat your vegetables. Know where your meat and your produce come from, and move your body. Anything else, Dr. Winberg?
I think that's it for this week.
All right. Cheers, guys.